Here, live and direct from Brooklyn, New York. In front of me today, check out this old school box, blue box of 1996, 1997 Topps Hockey, Picks 96-97. Topps has been around since 1938. It's a Brooklyn-based company. Its logo has been around since, I think, 81, and I think it has, as a company, been around doing gum and collectibles and so on since the 30s. One of the most renowned sets is from 54-55 with this beautiful Gordie Howe card, which was blue and white and red. But Topps is an interesting product. I have not opened these up ever in my life, this particular box, so it should be interesting. You can see on the bottom right-hand corner that some of the inserts are Top Shelf, Fantasy Team, Ice D, the 500 Club. But what drew me to it was actually the fact that there are Opechee parallels in here, and I think they're sort of interesting parallels, foily parallels. So I thought I'd pop this box open. It should be interesting. It's a hobby box. And there are 36 packs in here, so this is going to be a long break. There is no seal, apparently, on this thing, as far as I can tell. And I shall slice and dice it open if I can. Man, this is going to be hard. I think this is not cut out for this, unfortunately, so I'll just fold it like so for the time being. And this would be our box. It's going to be packed with goodies. In terms of the rookie class, we should, I guess, speak about the rookie class. There are some half-decent rookies in the rookie class. There's Daniel Alfredsson of the Ottawa Senators. There's Jere Lehtinen, who was with the Stars. Eric Daze, you may remember from the Blackhawks. But of course, Saku Koivu would be the one I'd be looking for. He, I think, is rookie card number 5. There are also other ones like Sykora, Cory Stillman, Valeri Bure, and Todd Bertuzzi as well would have been one of the rookie cards. So we would be looking for those as well. And here we have a Sergei Gonchar. So the base set runs about 180 cards. I think it's 179 to be precise, to be accurate. And you see how the Topps cards in this era were really, really, really busy. Sort of not exactly a nice design. I think this is sort of initial inclinations of using computer design in sort of complex ways with layers, very Photoshoppy. But this is what the card looks like nonetheless. It's very glossy, a pretty lightweight, papery card. It's a little bit similar to Panini, I'd say. So continuing on, let's see what we get. So Picks 96-97. It's going to be difficult to read the names as well. We have Uwe Krupp. We have James Patrick. And there may be duplicates, a lot of duplicate cards, I'd assume, because maybe these boxes sold packs separately, and maybe that's how they sold them mostly as opposed to full boxes. Adam Deadmarsh. There's Owen Nolan with San Jose. We have, I think this is Jaromir Jagr, believe it or not. So this would be the cup year of 1996-97 would have been the year Detroit won, actually. I think they beat Chicago. You'd think I would remember that. They definitely won that year. They would have beat Philadelphia, actually, I think, is who they would have beaten, of course. So there's Jaromir Jagr, who is second all-time in points. Here's Eddie the Eagle in his absolute heyday, and that's card 179. So this is the absolute last card on the checklist. So those would all be base. I think we'd expect to get mostly base in these old school products. The packs themselves are very foil forward. Pretty nice blue design nonetheless. But the cards are crazy busy. So this is Marty Bird. Very dynamic though, actually. Pretty dynamic for the times. That's Steve Thomas, you may remember also with the Leafs. And you see right away that we already are getting duplicates. I might not open up the entire box if there are that many duplicates. I might actually give some of these packs away. There's Jeremy Roenick. There's Steve Duchesne. And this would be our first rookie insert, and it would happen to be Cory Stillman. So here is Cory Stillman's rookie card. And these rookie cards are probably only worth about $1 or $2, I would assume. Pretty nice nonetheless, but again, the design is, you know, gaudy, campy, messy, busy. So we would not expect to get autos or anything of that nature. There were a couple of products. I think SPX started around this time and had some autos, very rare auto, like a very rare Gretzky auto and so on. A couple of the products did have autos, but that was very sort of high-end products, which today we would deem mid-end, I believe. There's Al Ayafredi. That's awesome. Here he is with no hair. He had a short long. He had a mullet for many years as well. Gary Galley, who's now a pretty able and capable and informative commentator for Habs games as well as Leafs games. And this is our third Eddie the Eagle, just to show you the amount of duplicates. And I believe this is the Opechee Parallel. So the Opechee Parallels are actually kind of like platinum cards. And this is the reason why I got the product. I wanted to see what these Opechee cards looked like. Essentially, they're the same as Topps, except they have foil, early introduction of foil to the cards. And there's James. I think that was Patrick. Yeah, it's James Patrick. So we would be looking for Todd Bertuzzi's rookie card. We would be looking for Saku Koivu's rookie card. We'd be looking for Daniel Alfredsson's rookie card. And you see already we've hit our fourth Eddie the Eagle. So these cards are certainly repetitious, duplicative, duplications and doubles over and over again in redundancy. Nonetheless, interesting cards. And here, this is a top shelf insert. So this actually is an Alexander McGillney insert card, top shelf. And this is what the back looks like. It actually has quant. It has statistics on it. If you do the GRE tests, you might want to study this chart and analyze it for us. Goals, assists, that's interesting. It's an interesting way to, I'm surprised that that hasn't been done before and since to represent stats in a infographic type of way. I think that actually is smart and sort of probably a better way of displaying information and proportionality and so on. Here's Billy Ranford, and this is Billy Ranford with Boston. Of course, he won his cup in 90, I believe, 90-91 season, whichever season it was, with the Oilers, post-Gretzky. And this is another one, so this is an Ed Jovanovski rookie star. So it's another rookie card, the Ed Jovanovski rookie card. This is Mark Recchi with the Habs. And this is Tony Amonte. And here we have another one. This is Ragnarsson, another rookie star. So we actually got two rookie stars in one pack just to show you how the distribution is a little bit all over the place. There's Nedved and Chad Kilger. So I'll open a few more packs. I don't think I'm going to open up the entire box. I think it would be a long and involved process to do so. But oh, that's a cool looking insert. So we have this really neat looking insert. These cards are so glued together, it's not even humorous at this point. There's Jeremy Roenick, who's now a commentator, I think, on NBC, I believe. Petr Sykora, who's one of the rookie stars. There's another Tony Amonte. And so we do have a checklist. If you can read the checklist, given how busy it is. It's so busy that they themselves have to use bold print so it's more legible. That basically tells you how busy these cards are. They're cognizant of how busy they are. So this is an interesting one. So these would happen to be the fantasy team cards, I believe, which are probably the nicest inserts. They appear to be rare inserts as well, the fantasy team cards. But again, very foily, very print-oriented, busy, crazy cards. And here we have Patrick Roy. I believe he actually won the cup with, I think the Avs won the cup in 96, so the 95-96 season, they won the cup. Another Billy Ranford. So in terms of top picks there, as I said, I think there's Bertuzzi, there's Alfredsson. Alfredsson actually was like a 6th round pick, believe it or not. And here we did hit the Saku. No, we didn't hit the Saku. We hit the Valeri Bure, sorry. Valeri Bure, the Habs drafted. And this is what the back of his card looks like. He was a half-decent player, but he certainly was not his brother. And there's another Tony Amonte. We've gotten like 20 Tony Amontes at this point. Just going to open a few more packs, see if we can hit one of the top rookies, so to speak. I can get this bad boy open. This thing's glued. Here, let's so they just peel. They don't shred. They just peel open these pieces of cellophane. And again, like, good luck. So this is a Dougie Waite, but good luck reading it, who of course also played with St. Louis. There's Eric Daze, who was a prominent pick back in the day. Another one of these Ranfords. I've got like 20 of them at this point. So there's Mark Messier. That's a pretty decent one. He's looking behind himself. And he sort of, I guess he's on the boards, but he looks a little bit like he's in Gretzky's office. But of course, Messier had, he had 1,887 career points, which is quite amazing, and he did that in 1,750 some odd games. And this is a Jim Carrey, so this is an Opechee Parallel. So I don't know, the all-time games played would have been Gordie Howe, who played 1,767 games, and Messier was just a few games behind him. He ended his career at 1,756. Jaromir Jagr, who played in Europe for a couple of years, had 1,733 games played. So there's Messier again. And this would be Forsberg, who, as I said, won the Cup the prior year. There's Jeff Sanderson and David Wilkie on the Habs. There's a Teemu Selanne, that's pretty cool, as well as a Rob Niedermayer, a younger looking Rob Niedermayer. There are two Niedermayers, Rob and Scott, and I think they won the Cup with the Ducks. Probably also won with, I would say, with New Jersey or something to that effect. So there's another one of him. And here we have another one of these rookie stars, and it's Kyle McLaren. And there's an Selivanov. And here we have this Al MacInnis with the Blues, who you also remember from Calgary. And that's a pretty nice Opechee insert. Kevin Stevens, as well as Bernie Nichols. So you see that these Opechee inserts are actually fairly rare. They're every few packs. Rare for a product with 36 packs. And let's continue on a bit here. So here we have Hab Killer Cam Neely. We have another one of Patrick and his 3 Conn Smythe trophies. And here we have a Matt Sundin, a pretty youthful looking Matt Sundin. I don't know where he was in all-time points. He probably was maybe not top 20, but he was actually, I think, 28th all-time in points in the NHL, if you can imagine that. And this is Bill Guerin. Let's open a few more packs. I certainly want to give some of these packs away, because why not? I'm not sure what this product cost. It probably did not cost too much, to be honest with you. 20 bucks or something. Rob Blake, Rob Niedermayer again, Al MacInnis. So this is the non-Opechee foil one. You see the difference between the two. It's hard to read a couple. It's funny because there's Steve Chesson. They're so busy, the cards, that it's almost impossible. The foil lettering, it's almost impossible to read the cards. Again, Al MacInnis, Dave Andreychuk, had a wonderful career. Joe Murphy. There's Trevor Linden. We have a rookie stars. Oh, look at this. So we have another one of these parallels. And I think this is Shane Corson, but I'm not entirely sure. Is it? Yeah, it is Shane Corson. Interesting. Wearing the C. Of course, he certainly won a cup with the Montreal Canadiens in 85, 86, I believe. In Patrick's inaugural year, or pre-inaugural year. And there's another one of the rookies, and there's Cam Neely again. So we've hit a couple of doubles with regard to the rookies, and still haven't hit the Saku Koivu, which would be the one I would be interested in. Now, Saku Koivu, I believe, was drafted in 1993. I believe he was 22nd or something. I don't think he was a high pick per se. There's another one of Cory Stillman, getting a bunch of those. Bernie Nichols, Niedermeyer again. And here we have an Opechee checklist. Cool. I wonder how much it would cost to buy the entire Opechee set, insert set, if you will. It would be like buying an entire retro set these days. Probably for a similar price, maybe less. Let's see here. We got another Sanderson. We have a Roman Hammerlick. Also, I believe, played with the Montreal Canadiens. Bill Guerin, Cam Neely. And then we have a top shelf of John Leclair, who played on the Legion of Doom line. He went to the Stanley Cup, I believe, with Philadelphia. He certainly won with Montreal. And there's, oh, cool. So we hit the Todd Bertuzzi. Now, Todd Bertuzzi, I think, was something like a 23rd overall. Or he certainly, I think he was also drafted in 1993. And he was, I guess, drafted by the Islanders. So Bertuzzi was, yeah, he was drafted by the Islanders. He was drafted 23rd overall. Saku was drafted 21st overall. But he played with the Guelph Storm, and he had over 1,150 games in his career, 770 points, a real beast. But he's most remembered for the hit on Moore, which was one of the most punishing, bruising hits, and it was basically a cross-check to the neck that I think shattered a vertebrae or something to that effect, and it filed its way through the court systems. Owen Nolan, Jeff Courtnall, there's Nedved, Dougie Wade again, there's Matthew Schneider, who played on the Leafs but also played on the Habs. I believe he also played with LA. And there is a Mark Ruzinski. Martin Ruzinski, sorry. Maybe that sounded weird. Another Ed Jovanovski. It's a star. Here we have Russ Courtnall. Both Russ and Jeff ended up playing on Vancouver. Two brothers once again. Oh, I hit the Saku Koivu. So that's cool. And here we have, now this is one of the inserts. So this is a 500 club, I believe. So I'm gathering, I would assume that the 500 club would be goals. I don't know what else it would be. It's certainly, typically that's what it means. So it's actually really interesting to think about that, because now there are multiple players who have over 600 and 700 goals. But 500 club, right. So Mark Messier ended up his career with 694 goals, I believe, something to that effect. But there are only a few players in the history of the game who have over 600 goals. I think it's only about 20 players who are sort of in that range. And over 700, there's about 6 players, or 7 players actually, because Mike Gardner was over 700. And only Gordie Howe and Gretzky have over 800. But with regard to active players with over 500 goals, active players who are sort of in the top 30 all-time or top 40 all-time, there are only 2 active players with over 500 goals, I believe. And you can guess who one of them is. It's obviously OV. The other one is Patrick Marleau. Patrick Marleau actually already has 539 goals in his career. So that's kind of interesting. And here is the Saku Koivu, who I said, I believe in 1993, was picked 21st overall. And he ended up playing over 1,000 games, even though he was ill for a bit. So that's basically it, guys. I think I've sort of done as much as I should. I'll try to give some of these packs away. But I'll do a quick recap of what we got, just for posterity's sake. So here we go, guys. Time for the recap. In terms of base cards, so I only opened up about half of the box. There's so many packs in the box, or I think there's some 36 packs or something in the box. I decided to only, and 7 cards per pack, so you do the math on how many cards that is. That's a lot of cards. So I decided to only open half of it. So that would have been 252 cards total if you do the math. In terms of base, only opening half of the box, I got that much base. The base cards are pretty plasticized, flimsy cards, a bit like, and very, very busy on the back. Here's a Cam Neely, for example. I don't think they're necessarily nice cards, but they're dated cards, they're busy cards. They're very much like what you would deem Panini in this day and age. So opening up about half the box, I did get a couple of these top shelf cards, the John Leclair and the McGillney, of course, who played on multiple teams. He, of course, played on Buffalo, is really well known. Buffalo played on Toronto as well. And Leclair, of course, is also known for his Stanley Cup with the Montreal Canadiens in the 80s. And I believe he went to the Cup. I think he went to the Cup and lost. And in terms of our fantasy team card, we did get one fantasy team card, and we got this awesome Jeremy Roenick, really foily, rainbowy, crazy, busy, vertigo-ish card. In terms of the 500 cards, so the 500 club cards, I got one in this half box, and I got a Mark Messier. I assume 500, it would happen to be the all-time goals, as you can see. So there they had him at about 16th back in the day. Of course, he did rise through the ranks, and I think he ended up being 8th overall in the history of the game with 694. Only OV's at 17 now with 622, and Patrick Marleau is 32nd with some 539 goals. So they're also in the 500 club. With regard to the Opechee cards, so the Opechee are these foil inserts, parallels, and this is one of the reasons why I got them. I was kind of interested to see what these Opechee cards look like. I did get a busy, gaudy, sort of pastel-y, blue, foily checklist, as well as a couple of other ones. I got this awesome Shane Corson. I got this awesome Al McInnes, who you probably also recall from Calgary. I did get this Jim Carrey. No, he's not the comedian. He's another Jim Carrey, as well as this Al Iafredi without his mullet. So I guess sort of nearing the end of his career. That's a good question. So those would be the Opechee foil cards. In terms of rookie cards in this half box, I certainly got a redundancy in the rookie stars. We would be looking for the Alfredsson. We would be looking for the Koivu and the Todd Bertuzzi. So I did get Jovanovski. I did get the Bertuzzi, who was a 23rd overall pick by the Islanders in 1993. I got a couple of Cory Stillmans, Ragnarsson, Eric Daze, who you might remember. I think people in Quebec remember him fairly fondly. Petr Sykora, the other Ed Jovanovski, and I did get the Saku Koivu, so that's kind of cool. Koivu was a 21st overall pick in 1993. So that's basically it. That's an indication of what you get in this box of the Topps hockey. Topps being around since 1938 out of Brooklyn, and is also equally known for basketball cards, baseball cards, etc. Pretty cool looking cards. I'll give some of these packs away. I think they're awesome, a lot of fun. I happen to be Fulton Cards, live and direct from a place called Brooklyn, New York. Please subscribe. Live and direct from Brooklyn, New York. I'm Fulton Cards.